Hey there, this is your orchestration tutor, Thomas Goss. Recently I got a question in the Orchestration Online Facebook group. Somebody asked me the question, hey Thomas, quick question if you don't mind. Is it possible to type this kind of glissando in Sibelius? And if so, how's it done? Would appreciate if you can help me out. Yeah, and I'm happy to answer the occasional question about Sibelius. Now, I normally wouldn't do this myself. I would set things up a different way, but maybe that could be for another video. These kinds of things are actually pretty easy to build in Sibelius, so let's go to the Quick Start menu, choose blank, and house style. I'll use my special Orchestration Online official thick-lined engraving that I use for examples and things like that. It just has really thick staff lines and bar lines. And also, I'm using Norfolk as my music font and Nepomuk as my text font. So change instruments. I've already got this particular thing open, pitch percussion, which has harp in it for some reason. So I'll add this to the score. And this is in the time signature of 3/4, and further conversations with that person who asked the question revealed that this was in the key of F major. All right, so might as well just create that. And let's reduce the size of that screen so that I can see both the example and my little workspace. All right, great. So I'm just going to hide the invisibles here. Just go to View on the ribbon, hide all. That should really be a key command in case anybody from Sibelius is listening. And then I'm going Command-click on this in order to select it, and then Shift-click to select the next bar, and then just delete it. Right, because we only really need the 3 bars, right? The one before, the one in the middle, and the one after. All right. Now, let's create rests in both of these, just, to have pitches, have time durations to work off of. So just have quarter notes there, quarter rests. And now let's create the endpoints, starting from this F down here, which is a half note. I'll just play it in as F. And then let's change that into an eighth rest, and then type or play in the key of this high F up here. Okay, so that gives us our endpoints. All right, now let's do the fun stuff. Let's enter the glissando diagram pitches. All right, starting from here. This is got a triple beam, so we are going to enter 32nd notes right here. Okay, and I'm just going to play an F major scale, including the B flat, which is in the key signature. All right, now I'm going to press the escape button, but that leaves this selected, right? So I'm going to hide this with Shift, Command, or Control if you're on PC. H. So Shift, Command, H. Okay. Now, you notice something about this, and that is that it's kind of in the wrong staff, right? So I'm going to, with this continuing to be selected, I'm going to go back to this first note and hit Shift. Now I've got it all selected. And I'm going to go, this time, Shift Command down arrow, or Shift Control down arrow on PC. Right? And that leaves us right here. Now, one more thing. We have got to change this first note here into an invisible note head, right? Because otherwise this will be blacked out, and it'll just look like a quarter note in the second voice. So the way to do that really is to just select the note after it and then toggle back with the left arrow. Right, now I've got this selected. And actually, before we do that, let's go to mini notes here. Hang on a second. Let's change all this to mini notes. Apologies, I should have done this first. So just go to here, Q size, right? Okay, now same thing again. Select that second note, go over to here. Notice how this justifies to the left-hand side. This is something Sibelius should fix. You should have an option when the stem changes direction in first or second voice is that things shift over to the right-hand side, right? So it just always is lined up. Okay, now we're going to go Shift Command I to open up our inspector, right? What they used to call. Now I think they're sort of trending towards properties. All right, now here you could just sort of press these buttons until you get to about 0.41, right? Which is at that right side, right? Okay, and then actually, or you could just enter it as, you know, as text, 0.41, right? And you get the same result. Now let's actually hide that note head, and the way to do that is Shift Option 7, right? And then that gives you the invisible note head. Let's actually take a look at where that is on the ribbon, okay? And that is in Notations. So, you know, if you just want to do it the lazy way, then just slide down here to, here it shows Shift, Alt, or Option 7. Right? So there we are. All right, so it's looking pretty good so far, except for one little thing, and that is the beam grouping here, right? Now, I didn't select this when I selected 3/4 time in the setup options, and I could have done it there, or, you know, could have just left this in case there were situations in the piece where one 30-second note beam group would be in the left hand, the other would be in the right, and so on. But I can make a change just in one particular beam group like this, just going to this right in here, middle of beam grouping, right? And that leaves us with that. But there's still something wrong here, isn't there? And that is that the pitch or angle of the beams does not match the angle of the notes, right? So that's really easy to fix. Let's see, the distance between it. Let's get down here. So we have pretty much the same kind of distance here. And for this, we're going to need to select this last thing and then click on that. And then that's about right. That's just about right. And maybe we can adjust it down a teeny little bit. All right, and then just change this so that it's right about the same as what's in the engraved version. That's great. All right, so now we need to get rid of these rests, but before we do, I'm just going to add mezzo forte. The way that I did that was I selected this this rest in the upper staff, and then I held my thumb down on the command button. In PC would be Control, and then I just typed E. Then I left my thumb sitting on the Control button. And then I typed MF. All right, it's the easiest thing in the world. So many people just like they'll send me scores, and you know, things will be written like this. They'll go Command E, but then they'll go MF, right? And it's just so easy to just leave your thumb on it and go MF, right? It's already there. But actually, this is supposed to be fortissimo, so we'll just do that, right? Okay. And also we need the crescendo mark, so I'll just select this half note in the lower staff and just type H, and that takes care of that. Let's move it up a little bit so it kind of matches the spacing that we've got here. All right, now we can hide these rests. I clicked on the first one, and then I'm going Command click on this, and that way I've got them both set up, and then I'll just go Shift Command H and hide them. All right. Then let's add a slur. Same thing. I'm selecting this, and then I'm going Shift click, and then just typing S, right? And notice there's one thing that Sibelius absolutely needs to fix, and that is it just doesn't have an intelligent, self-solving approach to cross-staff beaming or cross-staff slurring, right? you should click it and it should automatically end up looking like this, right? Just boom, like that. All right, so everything's looking pretty good so far. How about the gliss word? So I'm just going to select the top of this note. I could select the note. I could kind of select anything right here in this duration. And then I'm going to go Command T for technique text. And then just type out GLISS period. Now, I'm just going to leave the cursor blinking. I'm not going to click out of it or anything. And I'm going to type Command A to select all, and then Command I to get this nice italic text. Drag this down kind of in the right area. I'd say like right about there. Then I'm going to get back into properties, which you remember is Shift Command I. And just angle it up a bit. That looks about right. Okay. And then just kind of close that. I can just type Shift Command I again, and it just automatically closes it. And that just leaves all of these squiggly glissando lines, right? So let's make a little bit of space here. I'm just going to tug this back a bit, just sort of kind of judging the spacing here. About the same. Yeah, a little bit further. Alrighty. And I'll just select this invisible rest here and type L for lines, and then glissando wavy lines. So I wouldn't do this, like select this and then type L and then click on this, because then you get a tiny little guy and it's sort of hard to find the end point of it. And then when you copy paste it elsewhere, it carries along a rest and a note value with it. So just don't worry about that. Just like select this invisible rest and then type L and then select the glissando wavy line. All right, now I normally don't use these wavy lines for glissandos because it's just like more kind of more stuff for the harpist to look at. But you know, if you want to use them, it's like there's nothing against the rules or anything. All right, so I'm kind of going to go up to this G line here. And then, you know, just select, copy, paste, and then sort of reverse it here. We're going to start from that G, and then let's drag it down to the A line. Now notice how it's fighting to sort of go into place. And I should have selected this one and then gone to layout, and then gone to, you know, turning off the magnetic layout, right? But that's all right. You can just do it on the second one. It doesn't have to be on the first one, because the first one, you know, no matter how it's set, the second one doesn't really care, right? So we've got that set up. Now just copy and paste, and then drag it to here. Alrighty. So, pretty good match, right? Now, there are a few problems with this, and this is because, once again, Sibelius does not have certain cross-staff issues worked out, right? So, if the vertical position changes between these two staves, then everything falls apart, doesn't it? Then another problem too is, let's say that this is part of, you know, let's say you select your entire work like this, and then you want to do horizontal justification, which is Shift Command N. So like your like certain things will be a little bit out of kilter in the note input process, and that's the same for finale too, and so on. So then just select it, Shift Command N. Right, and look what happens, right? So that is how I would set that up. Now, if people want me to do a video about how to get that sort of beautiful glissando mock-up that I played right at the beginning on the opening screen, which is what this should sound like, right? How to actually create playback data for that, and then copy paste it onto this. I'll do another video. Just ask me down in the comments, all right? And if I get, you know, let's say maybe 10 or 20 requests, then I'll show you the next step on how to do that. So that you could basically take all of these pitches and then mute them. I could just select this and then just go to properties, and I could turn off playback and so on, and then I could drop in MIDI data, which I could generate with the Harp Glissando plugin, which is right over here, right? Which I think you still have to add. I don't think it comes as a... I think you have to go and download it from Sibelius.com. But I don't know. I did it long ago, and it stayed with all of my upgrades, so I don't know what it is like now. So, anyways, if people want me to make a video about that, then I'm happy to. Just let me know below. All right. Anyways, this was really fun to do, and it's been a long time since I did any like Sibelius training videos. In fact, it must be about 10 years now since I created my courses for Mac Pro Video. And I would say that a lot of the information in those videos about workflows is probably still accurate, even if some of the there are some shortcuts now to problems that were in those videos before. So anyways, this was tons of fun, and I wouldn't mind doing little check-in videos about certain input problems and input questions about Sibelius in the future.